Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to Homesteading for the Health of It. Thank you for watching this video, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Today, what we're going to do is we are going to make ourselves, well, we're not going to make it, but we are going to compare a DIY deodorant to store-bought deodorant. So if you ever thought to yourself that it's not worth making homemade deodorant, or maybe it just doesn't work for you, I'm going to show you how that may not be true. So let's get right into those ingredients for our DIY deodorant. We're going to need some baking powder. I said baking powder. It's actually baking soda. You're going to need yourself some arrowroot powder. That is powder. You're going to need some coconut oil. And you're going to want to find a couple of essential oils that you like the scent of. I currently use beechwood, which is just an awesome scent. And I mix in some tea tree oil. And there's one more thing that you'd like to maybe purchase. You don't necessarily have to, but I've gone and I've purchased, I think it was a 4-pack of these deodorant holders. They're just like the ones you'd buy at the store, so you could just twist it up and twist it down. They're refillable, so you only have to buy it once. And the price of this comes out to about $2, just the container itself. After, like I said, I bought 4 of them. It was $8, so obviously it's a $2 purchase. But again, that amount will be insignificant after you've used it, I don't know, so many times. You're going to keep on using this. They're pretty rugged. They don't break. So let's dive into how you actually, or what ingredients you are going to use and how much of them. So you got the baking soda. You're going to use a half a cup of baking soda, half a cup of arrowroot powder, 5 tablespoons of coconut oil, and then your essential oils, whatever ones you want. I end up using a teaspoon of the beechwood and just about 10, 15 drops of the tea. All right, so let's quickly run over the costs. I had to jot a lot of the numbers down. There's just way too many numbers for me to remember. So let's start out with the baking soda. It's 216-ounce bag, cost me $10.99. You'll need a half a cup, or again, you can scale it up. If you use a cup of baking soda, you use a cup of arrowroot, and then 10 tablespoons of coconut oil, and then again, however much you want of your essential oils. I just wanted to get that in there. So, so for your basic ingredients, you're going to use a half a cup of baking soda, which it weighs 4.98 ounces, comes out to 6 cents an ounce, and that will bring us to 30 cents each time you use a half a cup of that. The arrowroot powder that's an 80-ounce bag. It costs $24.99, which calculates out to 32 cents an ounce. Again, for the basic recipe, you use a half a cup, which weighs 2.25 ounces, and that comes out to 72 cents per usage. And then you have your coconut oil, which is a 54-ounce bottle for $17.99, which comes out to 34 cents per ounce. Then you use, 1 tablespoon weighs 0.5 ounces. You use 5 tablespoons, which weighs 2.5 ounces. And that brings us to 85 cents each time you make the deodorant. And then you have your essential oils, which are a little bit more difficult to calculate since I'm only using 10 to 15 drops of the tea tree oil. That's a 4-ounce bottle. It costs $8.99. So 10 drops, it's approximately 8 cents. That may be way overestimated. I'm not sure. No real way to figure that out. Then the one I use is beechwood. This is not a 16-ounce bottle. I'm going to purchase a 16 bottle. I'm almost out of it, so I'm going to purchase the next time 16 ounces, which is $29.03. which brings you to $1.82 an ounce. I use 1 teaspoon of it, which weighs a quarter of an ounce, or so $1.82 divided by 4 brings you to 46 cents each time you use or you're making your deodorant. So let's flip this page over and look at the total cost. And this is the best way to look at it. If you're going to compare it to anything at the stores, it comes out to 22 cents per ounce. And again, I told you this bottle here is a 2.65 ounce bottle. So every time I fill this bottle, it costs me 66 cents. 66 cents. You get a whole thing of deodorant. And the last thing I want to say is this will make you 10 ounces. So every time you make this recipe, you'll get 10 ounces of deodorant, which will fill approximately 3 of these up. So you're getting yourself a pretty good deal by making it at home and just taking the hit on all the ingredients right up front. But that hit will eventually save you so much money. I mean, I went online to Walmart, walmart.com, and there are deodorants in there for $15. For 2.6 ounces of deodorant, they're trying to sell you for $15. I don't get it. I don't understand why people are buying that. There was one as low as was it $1? Yeah. So it was $1, but that was only a half an ounce of deodorant. So that's why I say the best way to look at it is the per ounce. So if you want to compare it, you would be making your deodorant for 22 cents an ounce. And a lot of the online stores will show you what the per ounce cost is. But there is definitely no comparison. First of all, these are all natural ingredients that you're putting in there. And I looked at the ingredients for many different ones online, and I mean, I don't even know how to pronounce half the stuff they're putting in there. And some of them use aluminum. What is the purpose of putting aluminum in a deodorant? If someone knows that, please comment down below. Because I noticed that because a lot of them say aluminum free. And that caught my eye, and I'm like, well, why would there be aluminum in our deodorant anyway? Why are we putting that in there? So it prompted me to look at all the ingredients. Even the $15 one had ingredients I can't pronounce. But what are you going to do? So this is up to you. I mean, you can see the comparison, or there is definitely no comparison here. You have yourself a bunch of savings by doing it at home. And this will take you less than 10 minutes to make. And just put it in a bottle and stuff it in your refrigerator until you need it again. But that'll do it for this one, guys. I appreciate you watching. I really hope you try to make this deodorant on your own. There are many different ways you can make deodorants. This is just the way I do it. So if you do it and you don't like this way, you can always look online for other recipes. Well, before we go, let's talk about one downfall of this deodorant. It's not that big of a deal. So coconut oil has a very low melting point, which means in the summertime, if you leave your deodorant out, it will become very soft. And when you go to put it on, it'll just be like a puddle under your arm. So how I combat that is in the summertime, I just put it in the refrigerator and then in one of the doors on my refrigerator, and I leave it in there. Whenever I use it or need it, I just go in there and use it. And the benefit to that is summertime, you're pretty hot normally. And when you put it on, it'll cool you off. But if this really helped you, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And again, leave a comment whether this is something you think you might be able to do, or if you've been buying your deodorants and are just like, oh, wow, how is that so cheap? Just leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about it. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.